ready to drop the puck here. Pioneers getting good offensive balance from all four lines. And you heard Charlie in the pregame, this blue line for the Pioneers really starting to assert itself. And the puck drops and away we go here. Two teams haven't played going forward. Now pucks come into the zone. Top of the circle, shot and a save made by DePasquale on the
really take the #1 job.
Down low, Pioneers out there with that freshman line of Kyle Chazowski, Caswell, and Epperson. Loose puck wrapped around all the way over to the far side, played by Javon Moore. Broken up at center ice, and now the Gophers have it back in their own zone. Leo Gruba sent across, wrist shot, kick save, rebound, score! Minnesota taking advantage of the rebound that Miller coughed up to his left. And the puck is buried, 1-0. Minnesota leads it.
Good execution here by Minnesota as they come up ice. One of the classic pass-off pads where it just looks like an innocent shot. Javon Moore on a Minnetonka takes that shot, kicks out a rebound, and Pritchard right there.
2022, and a draft pick of the Colorado Avalanche. Now Polkamp drives the net, goes to the forehand and kicked away. Gophers coming out with it down the right side. Now here's a turnover. Sebrian at the dot, and a rising wrister goes off the.
But goals for, goals against on the Pioneer side rank way up there in the national rankings.
One-timer by Buckberger never got through. Reeder has it. Goes in front as a man shot, save made as he tried to go over to Harris as well. And that will stay in the Gophers zone, but a great chance there for Denver to tie it up. Now Denver will get it back. Ashcroft near side to Sebrian. As a man in the slot, Anderson pulls the trigger, and that'll go tipped and into the screen. Hockey League level. Shot from the point by Jamison and floating to his right to make the save.
History has been heavily favored for the Pioneers.
Up top, shot, glove save made on a, now over the line, freshman Kyle Chazowski. Caswell swings it across. There's a shot got through, and that'll be a save made by DePasquale. Funny to see all those freshmen out there on the power play unit.
A lot of newcomers on both sides. Gophers have a lot of new players there.
Polkamp sends it across. Brown, one-timer, redirect in front, but that'll go into the corner. Dug out by Reeder. Here's Ashcroft. Make that Brown. Brown gets it back. Pass to Polkamp, he hit the pipe. Right off the bar there for Eric Polkamp, who already has 16 points on the season to lead the Pioneers. Shot got through, rebound! Another save by DePasquale in front. Penalties expired. Here's Reeder. Drop pass, shot, another save. Puck is
a couple of times on that one-timer.
Shot in. Miller with the save, rips it off of ice level. Shot there by Clark.
Well, we were talking about DU and how they have to exploit the middle of the ice against the Gopher the Gopher penalty kill. Look at that push by DePasquale. Polkamp gets all of this, and I think he gets a piece of it. Maybe the post clips it a touch, but DU walks to the top of the umbrella. They kick it to the flank. They're getting pucks there. They're
now pushed along the far wall. Centering pass, one off the stick of the defenseman, but covered up by the goaltender. It was actually Tanner Lutke. And cuts to his right. Has Ashcroft. Here's a shot and floating to his left. Good save by Luca DePasquale, who's really seeing the puck well. He anticipated that as he floated across the crease.
I mentioned Polkamp, but how about his D partner, Buckberger?
Too far, but Caswell is there. Spins away from the defenseman Middlestat. Thrown in front, backhand! across and denies. 3-on-2 the other way for Minnesota. And that pass went through the wickets. Break there for Denver. And now we're going to have an icing coming up on DU. Now down the left side, Buckberger has it in the circle. In front, driving the net was Burrows, and he got held up. Penalty coming up. Power play coming up for the Pioneers here as Burrows driving the net.
Bench, he's yelling at the official.
Denver had 3 shots on their last power play chance. Here's a redirect by Solomon, trying to stick in the rebound and can't do it. Holtkamp again, just inside the line for Denver. EJ, it is the holiday season now. 8 seconds differential between the penalty and the game clock. Here's a shot and a save made as James Reeder somehow fought through the traffic and got it on his forehand. And another save by DePasquo.
Good execution.
View vantage point. That puck was on edge. He had to release and catch, release in stride. Really good pickup on a rolling puck.
Here's Epperson into the zone. Now to Buckberger. Epperson retrieves his stick off the ice. Final 30 seconds in the period. Caswell swings it across. Score! Boston! Buckberger by your franchise today. We're tied at 1.
Good execution by Denver. They're able to get that puck to go left to right. That forces DePasquo, the goaltender, to push across. And it's just really difficult to pick up the puck when you've got to go from your right to your left. And there's a lot of traffic in front of you. Really difficult for the goaltender to be able to slide across late in this period to tie it up.
And the assist for Clark. Caswell now has 10 assists. And that'll do it for this first period. Boston, Buckberger ties it up for Denver Hockey Hall of Fame game. Jay Stickney, Charlie Host, and Eric Johnson. All tied up at 1. Jimmy Clark, Minnesota Wild draft pick, sends one in, redirected, and that went wide of the net.
Minnesota, the winningest program in college hockey history. Pioneers have to back, and then right on the heels of that, Denver responded by winning in 04 and 05.
Choice this season for the Pioneers. As the puck comes on the end wall.
Makes a really nice read on Holtkamp.
That's been a staple of the Gophers. We talked about it in the first, blocking those shots.
Huge one-timer from the point. Denver keeps it alive.
That was a set play off the draw by DU there, finding that guy in the slot.
Harris peels back. Now Burrows up top. Ashcroft down low. Played off the end wall to Burrows. Still with possession. Denver skating. Tried to feed a pass through. We got a chance here for the Gophers. 3-on-2 the other way. Throw it in front. And that never got. And gets a change that they need. Here's a turnover. As a man, Reeder. And it went over the crossbar. Garrett Brown has to go off the end of the skate. Gophers again. Shot, score! And Minnesota jumps back in front. It's Brody Lamb, the leading scorer, gets another one.
Well, EJ just had commented how important the next goal is, and the Gophers hanging around, even though they're being outshot by a wide margin, and leave it none other than one of their captains and really their leader offensively. If somebody's going to hurt you offensively for the Gophers, it's very likely going to be number 17, Brody Lamb.
Well, here come the Gophers again. Odd man rush, racing to get back in. Shot, save, rebound, another shot. Well, and I wondered, here's Seprian's shot, and that one right into the body of Luca De Pasquale.
Not going to be on the score sheet, but the goal doesn't happen if he doesn't drive the net that hard.
Exactly right.
The zone. And out come the Gophers down the right side. Mason Moe has a man in front and couldn't get it over as Elch coming down the right side with Reeder. Drop pass for Harris in the circle, and that didn't get through the traffic in front.
A lot of shots. That's been common for them, and on the other side, the Gophers with a lot of blocks.
Here's Burrows driving the net, Ashcroft. And that just went wide on the net off the stick of Reed Varconi, the freshman out of Alberta. Gophers into the zone. Shot got through, rebound, save made by Miller. Wraparound chance, has a man in front. Where's the puck? And now we got a penalty coming up. So interference will be the call on DU. Second, Denver's captain Ken Anderson called interference. 2-minute minor. So Denver, top 10 penalty kill unit, going to be tested here. Up ice comes Tanner Lutke. Drop pass, bottom of the circle, score! It's Brody Zemer, second leading scorer for the Gophers, power play goal. Denver now in trouble, down 3-1.
This entire sequence starts 200 feet from where the goal gets scored. Beautiful breakout by the Gophers. They enter, they delay, the little drop pass by Lamb starts the entire play. And downhill they come. And just a perfect finish.
Sort of a half pass, half shot by Brown. Here's another one-timer wide of the net. Puck is in front. Kept the short side and a save made. And that'll do it for the period as we got some gloves and sticks up in the air. Starting with Polkamp.
Minnesota's got to be smart here.
And Tanner Lutke.
They got to be smart, Charlie. They're going into the period with a 3-1 lead.
The Pioneers have a lot of things they need to do to overcome this 2-goal deficit. Charlie and EJ, what needs to happen? Good play by Harris to take it away. As Buckberger. Shot, glove save made by De Pasquale on a nice setup by Sam Harris.
That whole sequence starts by the turnover.
Buckberger, but here's a shot kicked away. Rebound went behind him, but through the crease. Townsend down the left side at the circle and a save by Miller. And we'll take a look as Minnesota with a chance there.
Great chance, and it's Luke Mittelstadt. We've talked about Polkamp. We've talked about Buckberger, defenseman creating offense for the Pioneers. Well, Luke Mittelstadt, one of their senior captains, he's that defenseman for spinning off the pad.
Fisher got through, rebound, and went off the side and then into the zone. Samu Salmonen for Reeder. Now Polkamp lets it rip, and that one off the post. Oh, the lamp was lit. Not sure what happened there. I heard the post, and then the
great positioning, waved it off immediately, and it's the right call.
Derek Brown now at the half wall, drives the net, goes to his forehand, and it's the paddle was De Pasquale to tip it away. Minnesota down the left side. Eric Paulson lost the puck. Pioneers, Salmonen down the left wing. Drop pass for Harris. Harris below the net. Comes to the near side, fires a shot, save, rebound, a score! Salmonen, 3-2, Minnesota leads it.
with the turnover on the entry by Minnesota. They cannot give DU any freebies. That's exactly what they do. Minnesota turns the puck over. DU does a great job of entering wide. They sling it to the net. Harris goes around, does a doopsie-doo. The puck lingers in the crease. And parked on the back door is Reeder. I don't know.
Denver now down by 1.
Well, it just makes me think, how many times tonight can we just press power play 5-on-5? You cannot make it easy on your opponent by giving them unforced turnovers.
Jimmy Clark passed down the left side, trying to get it back. Now Clark has it, bottom of the circle. Peels back. Sends it down low. This time Hendrickson is there. Boston Bruins draft pick, and a perfect pass and a goal for Minnesota as set up perfectly to Jimmy Clark. And just like that, Minnesota jumps back in front of 2, 4-2.
Well, one of Denver's big keys to this season has been their defense and not allowing a lot of goals. Give Hendrickson a ton of credit behind the net. He's able to possess the puck, shake off a defender, picks up his head right there, and he finds Clark a good half second or split second before that puck ever leaves Hendrickson's stick. He knows where he's...
That's an NHL level pass by Hendrickson. What a response from the Gophers.
Here's Harrison deep, save made by DePasqua. Harris gets it back up top. Jamison, shot blocked. Now getting it, Reeder. Reeder right into the legs and score! Samu Summonin Dos! Well, that's a third goal already this period. Samu Summonin with 2 of them, and down by 1 of the Pioneers.
Really difficult, nearly impossible to save deflections, which is why we oftentimes say you got to get bodies in front. Salmonen, that is a high-level tip where he's able to get his stick on it, redirect it, and really no chance for
the play. Long outlet pass, and now coming in is Mason Moe. And that puck just stays in the rink. No, it's going to go off the screen. Charlie, you can see Minnesota doing a good job on the
CHA. It's games like this, just end-to-end play on both sides.
Centering pass one off of the defenseman, John Whipple. Nice move, shot, save. Loose puck picked up, thrown in front, wraparound chance. Puck still loose, who wants it? Bodies are down. Here's Paul Camp, score!
They don't ask how, they ask how many. This is just tenacity around the net. Pioneers just trying to get more white jerseys in there than the Gophers have, and Polkamp finally able to pull it out. And there's just not that many players at this level that make that
equalizer. Jamison redirected by Epperson, driving the net, and a nice save there by DePasqua. Coming in. Now driving the net, backhander, just missed short. Polkamp slow going to the Pioneer bench, but gets there. Up comes Lamb again. Over the line, Tanner Lutke to Lamb. And his pass right to the slot. That was Zemer with the pass, and that'll come over the stick and out right here for DU.
Two terrific entries by Mooney, the freshman forward, little water bug. Nothing came of it, but great entries.
Lamb has a man down low, backdoor score! Bad bounce for Denver, and cashing in with it is L.J. Mooney. A power play goal and a big one there.
I just touched on it. Mooney made some tremendous plays on the entry, and he's the beneficiary of the goal here. And two awesome entries by Mooney. Kind of a broken play on the backside, but what a play on the backhand by Ziemer. He's falling, he sees Mooney, goes through the legs of the DU defenseman, and Mooney's all alone.
If you're Mooney, it doesn't look like anything's going to happen, and Ziemer gets it to you.
Well, almost a turnover goal for Epperson, but covered up by the goaltender DePasquo.
Don't let DU set up to get any opportunities.
Over the line, Severin slaloms through one man, now goes wide, drives the net, save made, puck up in the air, where is it? Now it goes down.
He might go for the empty net there.
Here's Buckberger. James Reeder. Buckberger switches places with Polkamp. 30 seconds remaining. Far side, throw it in front, puck is loose. Up top, swung across, shot, score! Oh, he did it again! Buckberger!
The patience and the poise. Denver has them on the run. Bodies are going down. They're blocking everything. Buckberger gets it, but he doesn't just release it. He catches it, changes that angle just ever so slightly, and oh, what a shot. High to the glove side, and I mean, it is right under the bar.
I think we got a challenge. I think Minnesota's challenge.
Players there, gets rid of it. Shot is blocked in front, and that's going to do it as we will go to overtime. Shot would have counted, but went wide of the net. And with that, Saturday night.
They take it back. So I'd like to see a little bit of up and down the ice, a little action end to end. Let's see what happens here.
All right, away we go on a 3-on-3 overtime. Samu Salminen driving the net. Buckberger hit the post. Oh my goodness! Almost ending it with Salminen. Would have been a hat trick.
He hit that flush.
Now coming in, the danger is Brody Lamb for the Gophers. The fans are still in
Possession mode. They were going for it early.
now coming in. Going wide is Mooney. And now he'll bring it up ice. Has Salminen driving the net. Goes to the forehand, rebound, and another save by DePasquo.
What a save with the left pad.
Mooney back to play it in the Gopher zone. Samu Salminen on him. Out to Jimmy Clark. Drop pass, nice move there by Moore. Shot, score, and he wins it. Javon Moore. Gophers win it in overtime. 6-5 final with only 35 seconds remaining in the hockey game. A stunned Pioneer group, as that was the only shot in the overtime from Minnesota.
Big time play by the freshman, Javon Moore. He makes a little dipsy-do at the blue line, comes in, and he's able to beat Miller to the short side. That's just one-on-one, and it's a big-time shot as he's able to find an opening. And as a lefty coming in, the puck's to the outside, so it's a little bit easier to find that short side, and he does it for the game winner with just 35 seconds remaining in the overtime session.
Well, a stunned crowd making their way to the parking lot. What a game here tonight. Teams lining up to shake hands. We'll be back with the postgame after this.